Hello, my name is Stacy, and I'd like to speak with you today about networking. There are some basic building blocks of networking that everyone will need to employ if they intend to network effectively. We'll be discussing those today. Networking is one of today's buzzwords. It seems to apply to everything from finding a doctor to finding a job. While everyone seems to be networking, it is very rare to get an explanation of what networking is and how it can be beneficial to you. By learning what career networking entails and how to network effectively, you can ensure finding career opportunities and keeping up to date in your career. During our presentation, we will begin to define networking. We'll also look at how networking can help build a better career for you. Once we learn what networking is, we'll also learn the different types of networking and how to appropriately engage in networking. Networking has value and can give your career a boost. We'll talk more about how networking can help your career. So, how would you define networking? Networking is the development and maintenance of mutually valuable relationships, whereby there is an exchange of information or services. When networking for your career, you communicate with other people in order to exchange or gather specific information or services, and you make connections to use as references throughout your career. These relationships should be mutually profitable, so be aware of your value and be willing to help your contacts where you can. The next natural question would be, who do I build these mutual relationships with? It is important to use all of your resources to find people who can help you. Start with the places you frequent. Look at work, your place of worship, and social gatherings. Be sure to keep all of your contacts in mind, including friends, acquaintances, colleagues, hiring managers, and referrals. Your contact does not have to be a hiring manager to offer help to you. You may find someone who is willing to coach you through your professional search. That person would be a mentor. Having a mentoring relationship means you learn from your mentor's experience and enables you to make informed decisions about your career. In addition to mentoring relationships, career networking can help you find a coach to train or teach you specific tasks or skills. You can expect to find career opportunities when you're networking. For example, you can promote your skills, values, and expertise, as well as send the information you want to send to the right people who are or may know decision makers. Moreover, career networking can help you increase your opportunities inside and outside the organization. Some examples of opportunities you may encounter when networking for your career are landing a new job, finding a sponsor from inside or outside your organization, and participating in projects to which you would not have access without your network connections. How effectively you promote your skills, values, and expertise depends on how and where you choose to network for your career. In addition to helping establish mentoring relationships and opening career opportunities, networking gives you up-to-date career news. Examples of career news include learning new techniques or skills used in your field, and finding the best learning resources for expanding your knowledge, whether inside or outside your occupation. It's important that you understand the difference between formal and informal networking. You network formally when you're in a setting where the main purpose is related to your career or occupation. One example of formal networking is when you attend career-related events, such as conventions, conferences, workshops, career fairs, and events organized by professional associations. For example, suppose you want to meet someone who has business experience working overseas, because you want to find a job in England in the near future. You mention this desire to your boss without expecting help to find the answer. To your surprise, your boss tells you that her best friend has experience working in England and arranges for you to talk to her friend. In case someone is interested in interviewing you for a job, you should always bring to formal gatherings several copies of your resume, professional references, and curriculum vitae, or summary of skills and educational or professional accomplishments. By having these items, you will avoid being perceived as unprepared. On the other hand, you network your career informally Whenever you're in a setting where the main purpose is related to your personal life, but you receive or gather information pertaining to your career. For example, suppose you're thinking about learning a new language to help you with your career, but you're unsure whether you should study on your own or take a class. One of your friends suggests talking to an acquaintance who is taking classes at a community college and can give you feedback about the class demands and requirements. You should also bring your resume and other documents when you network at informal gatherings. However, not having such documents with you at informal gatherings will not work against you, since this type of gathering can range from going to the gym or to a dinner party. Regardless of whether you network for your career, formally or informally, you should know that the more you expand your connections, the better your network will be. You will have more people to whom you can refer. Every person you know has the potential to help you find what you need. The best way to ensure you're networking in the appropriate places is to check the efficiency of your resources or connections. Keep in mind that there are no wrong places for you to network, but by choosing the most efficient way to gather information, you can save yourself time and energy. For example, suppose you're looking for a new job within your organization. Telling everyone you know in your personal life about your intentions may not be the most effective way to network, since only people within your organization will be able to help you. In this case, the most efficient way to network for a new job is to talk to your coworkers and human resources personnel, or perhaps hiring managers. On the other side, if you were to look for a new job within your field without having any specific organization in mind, you could benefit from telling everyone you know in your personal life and professional life. What are some ways in which you can gather information and increase your network? You could certainly talk with coworkers and human resources personnel. You can also attend career fairs, join online chat rooms, read newsletters, newspapers, magazines, and trade journals. Your first step to effective networking is to establish your career needs. Write down what types of information or services you need for your career and decide whether you know anyone who can help you find the answers you need. If you know people who can help, write down their names so you can refer to the list later. It's important that you're thorough when writing the list, since it will facilitate your networking. How do you identify your contact network? Look at your close-knit network first. Your friends, relatives, spouse, and neighbors. Next, take a look at your business connections, your coworkers, your personal business connections, your suppliers, professional organizations even. You can talk with your banker, your lawyer, your doctor, or your dentist. Other sources could be community or political groups. You should also consider whether your resources are accessible and have up-to-date information. Next, you need to choose where to network. To choose the best place, you should consider your available resources, such as professional associations or coworkers, and how much time and energy you have. You can network at professional conventions, social gatherings, career fairs, at the office with a hiring manager, or human resources professional. Next, you should ask the right people to get the answers or services you need. Ask one or two open-ended questions about the person's professional background and experience to establish rapport. Do this before you ask for what you need. You want to be sensitive to the person's time, so try to be brief and specific about the information or service you need. Start with providing a brief overview of your objective for wanting to meet. Provide one or two examples of your goal. Highlight why you believe you're qualified, being sure to mention your core competencies. If you have examples to validate your assertions, you will want to provide these examples. Try to be brief and summarize. Although you're there to acquire information, actively look for opportunities to return the favor by providing solutions or names of professional candidates. When you're known as a strong resource, people will remember to turn to you for suggestions, ideas, or the names of other people. This keeps you visible to them. There are 3 points to remember. First, be on time for the meeting. Second, keep to the time agreement for the meeting. Typically, 30 minutes is the target time frame for these meetings. This means you need to be prepared. Third, if you need to follow up, arrange for a follow-up meeting. Keep them in the loop of your progress. Finally, you should check the effectiveness of your resources. You should cross-reference information with other sources so you can determine whether the information is accurate and up to date and whether you should use that same resource again. Moving forward, it's now time to schedule the meeting. This is where you use your resources. If you were referred, provide the name of the referral. In introducing yourself, provide the following: your name, who referred you, the current role or interested position and your years of experience, and propose a good time to meet. You may be a little leery in doing this. However, if you can find a sound justification as to why the hiring manager should meet with you, then you are well on your way. Perhaps you have an idea or a common interest, or perhaps you heard of an unannounced staffing need. Use these resources as grounds for scheduling a meeting. It can be difficult to sell yourself to a potential employer without first preparing for the meeting. Being prepared to talk about yourself shows confidence. As you prepare these talking points, be sure to be specific about your experience and qualifications. For example, instead of saying, "I have project management experience," you should say, "I have 3 years of experience in project management, performing marketing research in the software industry." By being specific about your professional background, you assert your expertise, and you give a decision maker a chance to consider whether you would be a desirable candidate for an available position or future opportunity. To persuade decision makers of your capabilities, you should show your competency by successfully completing projects or by providing professional references. Give decision makers specific examples of your skills and abilities, and describe your accomplishments. This can be done using the STAR format. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. Speaking about your experience in this format helps the decision maker to see how valuable you can be to his organization. We've learned a lot today about networking. We know that networking is the building of mutually beneficial relationships. Networking will begin with the people you know at the places you frequent. Networking requires leveraging the contacts you have to make more contacts. Preparation is key to making a good impression on a decision maker. As we close, I'd like to leave a few guidelines with you to help you make a lasting impression. When you network effectively, you'll want to ensure you have a positive influence on those you network with. Join a professional organization or club. Carry multiple copies of your resume to all informal gatherings. Be sincere and honest in your approach. These guidelines should help you stand out from the crowd.